Hello.
Hello.
Let's do a transition here. Hi everyone.
Hi.
We're new to the streaming. We've done a couple of these, but this is a bit new.
The last one was about the accident, so that wasn't super fun. But it
Yeah.
was fun to have you guys here. But
And I'm going to
That's the best
check
topic.
and just make sure, because I want to make sure we're all live and good. Hopefully there will be people joining us.
either way, we're going to be picking a winner for our car seat protector and chatting about a couple things and maybe talking about what's going on over here.
Yay, we're
Yeah,
live.
there we
Okay.
are.
Okay. So, welcome everyone. We wanted to do this at least just to announce the winner of our car seat protector,
Yeah.
but we're also going to talk about some of the other stuff we've been up to, the LA Auto Show, EV Media Summit, and Diesel.
Saving Diesel,
So,
which will be coming.
thank
Hi
you
from
guys.
Norway.
Oh wow, already from Norway, so that's exciting. We'll do the contest thing very quickly. Hi, Everyday EV. We met them at the EV Media Summit. And fantastic, and we're hoping to do some collabs with
Yeah,
them.
they have an amazing channel, so if you don't subscribe, you should go check them
Yeah,
out.
if you don't subscribe, be
And
gone.
they knew,
No.
and they knew about this thing. They knew. I
Diesel.
know.
So let's do the car seat thing quick.
Yeah.
And there's the car seat protector. We did this in our accessory video about a month ago, I think.
Yeah.
And we covered a bunch of accessories from Tesmanian. There's a discount code down below in the link, our discount affiliate code. So if you are interested in any of their stuff, that's great. But we don't have a kid, so we don't need a car seat protector. So we asked everybody if they wanted to win this within the United States because of shipping issues. To put a baby emoji in the comments, and that's what we're going to pick the winner of now.
Yeah.
So,
As soon as we get the wheel.
yeah, I gotta get the.
There we go. What's he gonna do? Drum roll. What?
And I think this. I should have tried this out beforehand, but I didn't want to bias it. So here we go,
Yeah.
and it's spinning.
And
Oh, I thought it stopped.
spinning. Looks like Jerry Smith.
Jerry Smith.
Yay! We have a winner.
That's pretty cool.
That's quite celebratory. Yay! Well done, Jerry. So I think we will comment on your comment, unless you're watching, in which case say, hey, shoot us an email probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's the first time we've ever tried a contest.
Yeah, that was fun.
And I think it worked out pretty good. So
Yeah.
Jerry Smith, congratulations. And again, if you guys want to check out our accessories video, if you see anything cool, be sure to use the affiliate link. You get 10% off, and we get a small commission off of that.
And if there are accessories that you're interested in, let us know, and we're always happy
Yeah.
to test them out. And if we don't need it, then we'll do this again and have another contest.
And there's actually a company, AOSK, that's on Amazon, and they are interested in developing stuff for the Mach-E, and they've been messaging me with some of their product ideas, but also asking, is there anything that we are looking for? And I haven't thought of anything yet that they haven't already had. I think the next thing that they want us to try out is mud flaps. So
Yeah, I know someone who has a wheelchair, had some really good ideas that we passed along.
yeah,
But yeah, and I'm sorry, I can't see that far, but someone's asking about the Kia EV6, which
Kia
we'll totally
EV6.
get into in a sec.
Well, yeah, we can go ahead and talk about the LA Auto Show. I don't have a
Yeah.
picture of it. I got some pictures that we'll just talk about stuff randomly. But before that, we'll talk about the EV6. We saw it in person. I thought it looked pretty fantastic. We know that the charging rate is going to be really fantastic. I believe 10 to 80% in about half the time that the Mach-E can do it. That's because it has an 800 volt battery system versus a 400 volt battery system that the Mach-E has. Everything else, the specs look fantastic. We know that it's going to be fast and quick. The only thing that we don't know in the US is the pricing. So looking at the pricing in the UK, translating that to what it would be in the US, it sounds like it's going to be very, very competitive. My impression on the inside, I think you like the interior a lot.
I thought the interior was excellent. It was really plush, a lot of good materials. and some really intuitive buttons. So I know some people are like me, annoyed that EVs are going sort of away from buttons and all to screens. So this was very intuitive. Lots of buttons, including like your parking cameras, and your backup camera was right there. You just press it, very clear, which is something that we get annoyed about with the Mach-E. And this is actually my sister is here.
For the
she
dog.
came for the dog. Mia's going bananas.
He's so cuddly.
Gosh, he's just like a floppy little thing.
Yeah.
Should we explain what happened?
We can explain him first. It's going to be sitting here, and Liv might have to take off because he's not
potty trained or house trained, which is why he's here with us, because we can't trust him quite yet. But basically, there'll be a video coming on this soon. We got a message saying that we had to rescue Diesel, and this is Diesel.
Yeah.
So we took the Mach-E and saved Diesel. Oh my gosh.
And we filmed a video yesterday. Of course, it will take us a while to edit it, but right now we're just fostering him.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen. We have an old dog that we've mentioned, and we need to make sure he's loved and taken care of, and it's a lot of complications. We're hoping to do some traveling.
We do need front puppy.
Oh, we can finally
Larry's
do a
totally
front puppy.
Right. Yeah.
We haven't done a front puppy because
Muggle's too old.
He's too old to be hopping into the front, but this dog would be perfect.
Oh my gosh. I think my sister needs to get it. I know, he's so fluffy. So fluffy. I mean, you just came here for dogs, right? Not cars.
But we literally picked him up yesterday at about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So it's been new.
We also got to go to a used EV car lot up in Colorado Springs. It was literally next door to where he was being kept, so it was perfect. And we'll have some video stuff coming up on that, which is really exciting. I think I found my car.
Yeah, we found some nice used EVs, and it was cool checking out like an EV dedicated used car lot. So.
Yeah, I was right next to the Tesla store.
Yeah.
Tesla lot. Pretty neat stuff. Hey, is he a stray?
He wasn't a stray.
It's a weird story.
Yeah, I don't know the whole details. It's just that my cousin messaged and said he was at the Humane Society. Could we pick him up? And then found out more details. And apparently somebody bought him from a breeder, and then within like a couple of hours dropped him off at the Humane Society. So we don't know what the situation is. But generally those type of deals, it's like if you don't get along with the dog, you're supposed to give it back to the breeder so they can find a good home. We don't know all the details, but it was sort of, go rescue a puppy? Sure.
Yeah. And I think Everyday EV is shopping at the EV outlet. Where are you shopping? They had 2 Mach-E's, and apparently they sold instantly.
Yeah, and it was interesting because I wanted to see the Mach-E's that they had listed on their website, and they're like, oh no, those are gone. And I was curious because it was a used Mach-E premium that I think was selling for $62, which is higher than brand new. So that could be a very good indication for us.
And Everyday EV actually said GT, which I didn't see. That'd be great.
Yeah, they didn't. We'll get into that. Oh,
he's clicking slides.
Hold on, not yet. Where do I want to start?
And can you see us on the slides? Can you see
this is what they're seeing.
Oh, okay.
We're learning.
In that case, I'll stop talking about the slides.
Let's start with that.
You guys can't see. I think we're just fostering pretty neat stuff.
So we were very lucky to get to go to the LA Auto Show, and we actually also applied to be media. So this is like the first time we went to like a big event like that as media. And if you don't know, 2 years prior, that's when we went to the LA Auto Show just because we had some spare time.
And we were psyched about it, and that's where we reserved our Mach-E. So 2 years later, we got to go back as media.
So there was like a couple of media-only days. One of the things that they had was this Porsche Taycan Cross Turismo, and it was really cool to see that. And it was like they launched it, and Porsche had like a whole hall, so we got to take a look at a couple other Porsche Taycans as well as gas-powered.
And someone's asking, I'm sorry, I can't see the names from here. Hello, I see. Yeah, we did actually get to go as media, so we went 2 days early. It was super quiet, but we stayed, Friday was like a normal day, and it suddenly started getting more packed, so that is why it was a bit more chilled. Oh, yeah.
and then, so one of the surprising things about the LA Auto Show for us is we made several videos. Our biggest video is one where we highlighted all the EVs, but the second biggest video was about this car and its associate, I guess you could say, one that was slightly smaller. This is the VFE 36, and they also have a VFE 35 that's slightly smaller. It's from VinFast, a Vietnamese company, and it was interesting to look and see the attention around that, and then that video just took off. It was doing okay for us, and then apparently when everybody in Vietnam woke up, there was a ton of traction for that video, so it was really really interesting. But of course it's an unknown company in the US, and apparently it's a large company in Vietnam.
But it's super exciting seeing more options from other countries. We didn't get into any of the VinFast vehicles, but there is a video with Supercar Blondie. Yeah, and she gets in it.
She got into VFE 35, I think it was. And the funny thing is the VFE 36, we were like, well, nobody's looking inside this one. We're going to go take a look. And we looked in the window, and it looked like it had been filled with carpet, because you could see the tops of the seats and the top of the dash and the top of the steering wheel, but the rest of the car, they just had like a carpet. Yeah. So it was a completed interior.
Or maybe that's their concept, because the Hyundai 7 was carpeted. Yeah. Like a lounge.
There were a lot of concepts. The Kia EV9 was one that got a lot of attention, and it was pretty interesting, but it was like so much of a concept. Have we done a video on this one yet?
No.
Almost done.
Wait, the Kia EV9?
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
We do have an EV6, EV9 video, but you can see inside it's almost like a lounge. They sort of are projecting far out.
And the Hyundai too, the 7 is also a lounge vibe. It seems that these concepts in the next few years are definitely focusing on autonomous driving, and you're just chilling as opposed to driving, which maybe isn't that far off, but I don't know.
And everyday EV, the my thing is freezing.
Oh no.
The EV9 here did have quite a bit of a boxy look, as well as I think the VinFast. The EV9, the neat thing is the grille up front was all like LED lights, and as it rolled out, it did a bunch of like animations and stuff, which was cool. Doubt that will make it to the production version, but it looked cool, like for the display for the unveiling. God, he's falling asleep.
I know, it's very, very cute. I agree, we do need more boxy SUVs though, by the way.
We spent a bunch of time in the Ford booth. They had several Mach-E GTs on this like little tiny indoor track, and they were giving rides, so we went on a ride in that.
We had a fantastic driver. She pushed it.
Yeah, and they had a Bronco course outside, which is not EV, but we still love going on that. And we did a Ford booth tour. But I think the coolest thing was they had an F-150 Lightning on display, which that was cool. But even cooler was on the media day, they had Linda Zhang there, and we got to talk to her for 5 minutes or so.
And she, if you don't know, is the chief nameplate engineer for the F-150 Lightning. So
yeah.
Super cool. Like Patrick literally was like,
My little interview that I did on the Ford booth tour video, I literally, you can tell I was just like, this is so cool.
And it was funny because it seemed like some people might not have known who she was. So while we were hanging out and chatting with her, someone was like, hey, can you do that Mega Frank thing? And so she'd go and press the button and then brah.
Yeah. And if you don't know, she immigrated with her family, and I believe like the first time she rode in a car was like 8 or 9 years old. So she went from like, you know, as a kid never riding in a car to being the lead engineer on probably one of the most important products for Ford in this decade. So I thought that's just really cool. She's been on the cover of Time magazine.
I was gonna ask, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
super
amazing. Cool. Yeah, very cool to speak with her. And also because we did the Mach-E tours and stuff like that, we've gotten to meet a couple of the Ford people. It was really awesome getting to see them again.
Yeah.
Like we're getting to know a couple of people who work in the booths as well, and they're really into the stuff as well, of course. Next.
And somebody mentioned the Fisker Ocean.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to go inside, but we did manage to sort of peek inside.
Yeah. We were there for the unveiling. Henrik Fisker did the unveiling.
Yeah.
He seems very laid back.
Yeah.
Like every time he was there and we saw him at the show, he was wearing like some brightly colored tennis shoes.
Yeah.
Very, very neat to see that as well. The Fisker Ocean looks really good.
Yeah.
A lot of people have doubts because of the previous issues with Fisker. I don't know if they went bankrupt or just out of business, but
I think they went bankrupt. And interestingly, we just saw the Karma, which was their original vehicle, yesterday. It was kind of rough because the person who was driving it scraped the front as they were leaving. Like, oh! Ooh.
Yeah, there's not many of those. The car looked beautiful though. That's the first time I've ever seen one. And the Fisker Ocean looked great. The interior looked like it was going to be like really nice, and they're trying to bring in a lot of recycled materials. They're trying to think 12 years out as well of how they're going to recycle the car. And some of the stuff, like I've had doubts about how Fisker or any of these new startups is going to deal with distribution, sales, and service. And Fisker is talking about they're going to have like regional distribution centers that like outside of Atlanta or Dallas or something like that, and you could go to the distribution center after you order yours and wait for it and go pick it up from the distribution center, or they could deliver it to your home. So that I was like, okay, that's cool. And then they will have some sales showrooms in cities as well. And then for service, this is like the biggest one. Apparently they're going to have contracts with companies that are used to dealing with maintenance on cars, so that you don't have to go to a Fisker service center. You'll go to a Fisker authorized service partner, and they'll be able to take care of any maintenance that you need to do. For example, Polestar 2, when they first launched, I think they now are going to work with Volvo, but when they first launched, they were talking about we have 8 service centers throughout the U.S., which was sort of an immediate elimination for us. Yeah.
And bye, Brandon, by the way. Thanks
for
joining us.
So it seems like a very cool concept if they can pull that off, and I think that's one of the, even with like Lucid and stuff like that, I would be wary of buying a car and then knowing that there may not be a service center for hundreds of miles. One of the reasons we like the Mach-E is the Ford dealer is literally 1.59 miles away, according to the maps or whatever. So that was cool. I should have transitioned back to us. Sorry, I don't like leaving static images up too long. Let's see if I can transition to the next.
Ooh.
Liv's excited. So Electrify America was there. We interviewed them. We did an interview with Robert Barossa.
Yeah.
And that's a great video. But they also had a test track there. It was indoors, so it wasn't like people were flying around, but you got to either ride or drive an EV. And Liv, I think, found her dream EV with one caveat.
Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. The Mini Cooper SE. It's adorable inside and out. It's so cool. The tech is really cool. I love all the little buttons and snap switches. Like, they're trying to keep that racing history. But the big kicker for me is that it doesn't do Android Auto. So it does Apple CarPlay. If you're an iPhone person, that's cool. But no Android Auto. And then I feel like you're sort of limiting yourself to their navigation system. I like Google Maps. I like the instant updates. So
yeah, we talked about this yesterday in our video because the Mach-E has good navigation built in, but I still use Google Maps a lot. And for the reason for me is, like, we search where the Humane Society is and where the EV outlet is on my phone, and then I get in the car, it connects to Google Maps, and it pops up in the recents, and I just tap on it and we're ready to go. So, little details like that.
Which I know it's a first world problem. Like, that's really wonderful and cool and techy. But if you're investing in a really modern EV, you kind of want it to be able to do what a lot of them can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, though, it's really, really adorable. I really like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. They had some other really cool cars, and we were. It was sort of funny because we went. They only did the test track on the regular days where media and the public was there. So we went over there to do some test drives or rides, and they're going, "Oh, you're too early. It doesn't open for another little bit. Oh, but your media, we can get you in one now." So we got one in, and then they were going to have some other media show up doing like a live broadcast for local
Big
TV.
news cameras.
So we decided we'll just go ahead and escape that.
And David says he loves the Mini, just wishes it had better range. I agree. It's like 110 miles range, theoretically probably less. So for us, having the Mach-E, which we know is a long-range vehicle, having road trip to San Diego and elsewhere, I think the Mini is an excellent second car, or if you primarily do city driving, it's really, it's kind of perfect for that. It's probably really easy to park. It's just teensy-weensy, adorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe not if you road trip in that. That would be tough. There is actually another channel, EV Nomads, that we also met at the EV Media Summit last weekend, and Kaylee, I believe her name is, she has an electric Mini, and I think she road tripped it from Florida to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a little bit of schlep in a 100-mile car.
The last one we'll talk about real quick is the Mullen 5. And this car looks beautiful. They're talking about they'll have a version that's competitive with the Tesla Model S Plaid as far as acceleration.
Yeah.
To me, it's like it looks great. The interior had some neat features, like in the back seat. They had like a tray, like an airline tray table that folded down from the front seats, and
It had a little screen in between the two back seats. Oh, and there was no messing around. There's no third seat in the middle. It's just two back seats.
yeah, so it's a
That's
four-seater.
Yeah.
But it looked like very luxurious, front and rear seats. The car looks fantastic, but I just wondered, the Mullen is basically founded by some big music industry executive that got into, I believe, automotive dealerships, and then now it's like, hey, let's make a car, which I guess you can do nowadays. But it makes me wonder, like, how are they going to handle some of the stuff? Like, even some of the stuff that people, they doubt Fisker, but Fisker has thought out through, some of these other things. But
And they might have thought out stuff. We just don't know yet. And they don't have a track record.
yeah. It's hard to be confident in any of these startups, including VinFast, which is big in Vietnam, but for them to come over to the U.S. and do the same thing may be more difficult.
There's a YouTube channel in Boulder that bought the Mini.
Oh, yeah.
Was that the Fast Lane?
I think it's Fast Lane cars.
Yeah. Oh, it looks so cute because I think they got the forest green one.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting Minis but me.
Yeah, I would love to meet those guys. I've Tommy, the younger of the two, the son. We've chatted a couple times on Mach-E forum a while ago. It was actually before we had our Mach-E, so I might reach out to them again and see if maybe we can at least go up and meet them. Which another cool thing, I should have put the picture in here, but we did meet Sandy Munro.
So cool.
Which people have a love-hate relationship. I think with the Tesla community, the Mach-E community, like Tesla community used to hate him, now they love him. Mach-E community pretty much has always sort of hated him, I think. But he's actually a cool guy. He reminds me a lot of my dad, sort of like a self-taught engineer, tears things apart. That's what my dad used to do just for fun. But he was very nice. We had a very good conversation with him.
Oh, yeah, he was awesome.
And then he gave us a cool shout out on his channel.
Yeah.
Him and Corey talked about that they met us and put our picture up and linked to our YouTube channel. And I think it got us like 100 subscribers in one day. So thanks to Sandy Munro and Corey for that. Very cool to meet them and just talk on normal stuff. And Liv notices brand new boots.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was like a minor detail, but he did a LA Auto Show review thing and mentioned that he bought those boots on the way and talked about it. So it was cool to meet him.
Yeah, extremely.
And we don't want to keep you guys too long. The other thing that we'll talk about is the EV Summit that was hosted by Kyle Connor with Out of Spec Studios. Actually, they have several YouTube channels. So they have Out of Spec Reviews, Out of Spec
Motoring.
they have a overlanding one or off-roading type.
And if you saw, they used our Mach-E in a recent video, a comparison video that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, they're about a hour or so north of us in Fort Collins, Colorado. We're down in Denver, but they organized this in Pasadena and invited us, Miss Go Electric, the Kilowatts, Everyday EV,
EV Nomads, and a bunch of other people, R. Simmons.
Yeah.
A whole ton of other creators.
And the idea was to get some manufacturers to put some cars there that we could drive and play around with. And what we didn't sort of think of is like, it was really cool that we met these other creators, like Everyday EV we're hoping to do a collab with. And it was nice to get to know Lacey from Misco Electric and Ryan from the Kilowatts. And it's like, I used to say like, that's the Kilowatts and that's Misco Electric, but now we have names to go along with it. So that was an awesome event. And are you guys ready for our favorite car there? Okay, so they had an Audi RS e-tron GT, a Mercedes EQS. They had a VW ID4 all-wheel drive.
They had a Porsche Taycan, but we couldn't drive it.
We couldn't drive that one. They had a Nissan Leaf, a couple of Plaids showed up, but we couldn't drive those. But here it is, drum roll. Here's our favorite EV there.
Honestly, though.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it last night. We saw all these really great cars, and we, of course, figured, okay, we're biased, but I think a lot of people came out liking the Mach-E GT Performance Edition a lot. And it's, of course, if you want to compare it to the Porsche or whatever, like if you put both outside and said they were both free, I'd probably go with the Porsche. But then again, it's sort of like the Mach-E is way better price point. It is an SUV, and it's pretty darn quick. And that we have our first edition. We love our first edition, but first time that we were in a GT and GT Performance Edition, I think I was the performance, the acceleration is quicker, and I wasn't surprised by it, but I really enjoyed it. But I think I was a bit surprised how much I liked the suspension on the Performance Edition.
Yeah, and we have a vote for Cyber Orange too. Kiel, I believe. I can't see that far. It was a super fun event, Brian. Yeah, so we actually got to mess around with the Mach-E's a couple times, and we even took the just regular GT out for the night in LA, in Hollywood, and then we're like, was the Performance Edition that good? It was, wasn't it? And then we rode it the next day, and it's like, significant.
And to be honest,
it really is significant.
Part of it is because we're filming inside the car, so Liv's holding the camera sometimes.
Yeah.
And we're worried about the dash cam, facing forward. And those little bumps and stuff like that, or going around corners, it's way more stable and handles the bumps. Like you don't feel them as much. So.
And I feel like the regular GT felt a bit more like our car.
Mm-hmm.
But the Performance Edition felt like a whole new beast, like a whole different vehicle. So it just felt worth it. I don't know.
And the cool thing is on both of them, we got to play around with Blue Cruise a little bit. We weren't doing long drives, but we took it out on the freeway for literally like 10 minutes. But it was long enough to activate Blue Cruise and just watch it go around some fairly substantial curves for a freeway. Bigger than what Sandy Munro had an issue with, and it handled it no problem. And then when it did get to, like, we went from like a bigger freeway to a smaller freeway, and we knew it was going to go out of one of the blue zones, all it does is it just says put your hands on the wheel. It doesn't cancel, it doesn't disengage, it just says put your hands on the wheel. So it really was a smooth transition. I think for me, I was wondering, like, would I care about the difference with Blue Cruise versus the lane centering intelligent cruise control? And I think the difference is you can very much tell lane centering is looking for the lines and trying to keep it exactly centered. And Blue Cruise, because it has detailed maps, it felt like as it was going around the curves, it was like a super straight line. I didn't feel like it was adjusting, trying to center itself. So I don't necessarily care about the hands-free, but the fact that it was handling things smoother, I think, was very, very nice.
Yeah.
So, but there was other cool cars there. We had a blast meeting everybody.
And I will say, okay, so the Mach-E, our Mach-E and the GT Performance Edition specifically, I won't say the regular GT because I just feel like it's not enough. Those are certainly worth it. I mean, we can say worth it because we bought it, but the Mercedes EQS, I have never in my life. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm jumping.
I was going to. No, no.
Okay.
We can go to anyone. So,
I've never in my life. I've never. I just. Oh my gosh, it was so nice meeting you, Murchie. Murchie also has a channel and he has a Grabber Blue first edition that he's having some struggles with, but
yeah. Hopefully Ford is going to fix
out.
that quickly because it hasn't been quickly. It's been months, which is sad to hear. Murchie was there. He's
and I
he's
think
in the
he
chat.
also got to drive the EQS. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, Murchie, but that was. I've never in my life experienced anything like that. It was, I mean, it was shocking. It was like you were in a spaceship on water, just.
And when it turns, like in a parking lot, of course front wheels turn very sharply, but to help, the rear wheels will counter turn so that it can. I think Bjorn, he did a test between a Model 3 and a Mercedes EQS, and a Model 3 actually has a smaller turning radius than the EQS has a smaller turning radius than the Model 3, which it felt like magic. Like we were going in the parking garage, and I would wait to like the last second and just go and turn, and it would just.
It's actually kind of disconcerting because it's sort of like your back wheels just hit ice and then go, but it's like very directed ice, you know.
As a driver, it felt just like magic.
As the passenger.
Yeah. But and I think the overall thing with the EQS is the luxury of it. I was thinking luxury just meant it was a smooth ride with nice, a nice interior, but it is also like things are well thought out in the car. The massaging chairs are way above any massaging chair.
No offense to the ID4.
Yeah.
Murchie also got to drive the EQS. Totally like a spaceship. It's insane.
And we were talking about little details like every time you adjust your car seat. Every car I've ever been into, it's down on the side. So you lean and you like adjust the seat, and then you get back into your driving position. You go, no, let me adjust it some more. The EQS, the controls are like right here within reach, so you can be in your driving position and adjust it perfectly. So to me, it was things like that are well thought out. And apparently, like if you reach over into the passenger side, it'll turn on the light so that you can see in the footwell.
And if you've seen photos, video, or seen the vehicle and seen the dash as a full screen, the passenger side is separate. So you can do your own stuff on your screen. You can navigate. There's even a way to connect headphones that appeared to be only for the passenger. So I get the impression that the passenger can literally just drive me and then have their own experience.
They just had a recall because I think Mercedes has decided, and I think this one like was preventing, because Liv was going to try to break up the web browser, and it was like you can't do that while the car is in motion. Apparently some of them, they were allowing that you could play games or watch videos, and Mercedes has decided they're not going to allow that while the vehicle is in motion because the driver can look over and watch it, and they don't want that. And I believe in Germany that's a law, like you can't have a video screen. And I thought it was in California that any of those like portable video screens, they can't be from the shoulder of the driver forward. So
that's probably a good thing, because I know if I'm watching YouTube and I'm like blah blah blah, you have that instinct.
It's an instant. Yeah, it's sort of like if you're in a restaurant, even if you don't care, like I don't watch hockey, but if there's a hockey game on, I'll glance up and watch the hockey game.
Yeah.
If there's a screen over there.
You look at it.
Anyways, Mercedes is, even though there's those screens, they're not going to let that happen and distract the driver, which I think is cool. And by the way, I believe it was Mercedes. Yeah, Mercedes just got approved in Germany for level 3 autonomous driving with their Mercedes EQ. Is it the EQS? I just saw Mercedes. I should read these headlines before I go on to talk about it. If I find the article, I'll drop it in the description and comments below.
I will say, going to this event, it was super exciting to meet so many other people who are equally enthusiastic about this stuff, this tech. Like, we're not super knowledgeable. We're real people who really like the Mach-E and then have gotten into EVs. It's amazing stuff, and it's happening. It's coming. The wave is here. So it was really cool to meet so many other creators, small creators, with different levels of expertise.
Yeah.
Like Misco Electric she's an industry person. She knows the stuff. Obviously, Out of Spec know these things. We had different people from kind of all over the world. It's so awesome.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. And hopefully there'll be some more collabs, at least some idea sharing between us. So now it was it was probably the most expensive vehicle and the only one that really scared me. And that's the Audi RS e-tron GT. And this thing was just so powerful. Like, you can just like feel that it wants to fly. Driving it around the city streets is actually pretty well refined, but it felt like you could take corners at whatever speed you wanted. So
I didn't drive anything except the Arcimotos, which you could drive in the parking lot, because driving with my left leg, I did not want to drive on LA city streets, and there was definitely no parking lots we could.
And there was a time crunch. We also felt like our channel, like we were represented, each channel was represented, and we didn't feel like we wanted to take two driving slots.
Time. Yeah.
Because it was just a time crunch.
So my impressions are, except for the Arcimoto, as a passenger, but this Audi, it felt like it was gripping the ground. You can feel so much as a passenger, truly. It felt to me like it was gripping the ground and just projecting itself, but at no point releasing this like tight grip on the ground. It's very impressive.
One of the things, and I'm going to go back to the Mach-E GT Performance Edition, because the Audi felt this way in the GT Performance Edition. Getting on some freeway on-ramps, about the only place you can sort of legally accelerate from 0 to 65 without breaking laws. But what I wanted to try on both of those was accelerating to that on a on-ramp that's like curved. So like in the GT Performance Edition, it was stoplight and then almost like a U-turn to get onto the freeway. And the Audi, there was one where it was curved as well. And both of those, like, you could almost like basically go in full power acceleration with a sharp turn, and it just took off.
Shocking.
So it was really cool. Both of them had fantastic grip, and surprising with the GT Performance Edition, because it's big and heavy, and not like the Audi feels like it's so.
It's got haunches. It really does.
So flat.
Yeah.
So, but and it was hard to get in and out of, as well as like the Porsche. But it's like you get in and you just like feel like you're in this cockpit and ready to go. So
yeah, it definitely seemed highly engineered. I thought that I would love the Audi more, but I think the EQS next to the Mach-E were my favorites. I'm not going to spend $100,000 on a car, but the EQS was, wow, this is $100,000.
Yeah,
wow.
And
feels like it.
That's one of the things we try to keep just within the channel, as well as like at this event, the mindset of that's a great car, but that's two Mach-E's and an Arcimoto.
Yeah, we kept sort of tallying it up, like how many of the other vehicles can you add together to make the cost of this vehicle? Which is not to say that it wouldn't be worth it for some people, but I'm relatively budget conscious, and that's just wow.
But okay, so this is the most expensive car that we drove. Now let me find here we go. This is the least expensive. And these two are Arcimotos. They are classified as motorcycles, but they're 3-wheel, and I think they start at just under $18,000. They go up to 75 miles an hour, up to 75 miles of range.
Theoretically, someone might have pushed it faster than that.
Not us. Not us. But one of the things I thought was interesting, in relation to that conversation about the price of the cars and the fun factor and all that. Anyways, I think the biggest smiles of the weekend were when people were done driving the Arcimoto. Like, they just got it. Like, you would just see people flying around the parking lot. Some people took them out of the street, Again, some people may have taken them out on the freeway and tried that 75 miles an hour. And people are just smiling the whole time. It's a fun vehicle. Part of it is because it feels like a scooter. There's wind. They handle pretty well, but I know I could have gotten the wheel off.
I think you actually did a little bit.
But they were just a lot of fun to play around with. We're hoping, we talked to one of the representatives from Arcimoto. They're based out in Eugene, Oregon, where one of our really good friends lives. Hi, Tony. I don't think he's watching, but hi, Tony. But it would be very cool to visit our friend as well as take a tour of Arcimoto and play around with them.
It suddenly seems like, I haven't been to Eugene, but it seems like the kind of town that this sort of car or vehicle excels. A smaller town, you're just zipping around places, and not terrible weather. They do have doors, I think.
They have soft doors.
The green one has hard doors. The blue one does
well,
not.
Well, it didn't go all the way up, but they have hard doors that can go all the way up, and it's there's a lot of various options for these, and they're supposedly going to have like a sporty one that will do some leaning.
It looks really cool. Yeah.
Right now they don't have torque vectoring, but apparently they're adding torque vectoring. If I remember correctly. So the idea is like as you're turning, it will adjust the torque per wheel so that it matches your turning radius so that it will be a lot easier to manage.
Because I was a little timid and turning was harder for me because I was quite slow. Yeah. Patrick was very fast. Richie had fun in that too, and Brian says he digs them.
Yeah,
if you can, definitely give them a shot.
18,000 is getting into the price of some used EVs that we looked at.
Yeah, that is a Kia Soul EV, or actually an i3.
But this looks like it'd be fun. And at the LA Auto Show, going back to that, we saw one company, Electra Mechanica. Mm-hmm. I think that's their name. They have it looks similar to this, but it's called a Solo, but it's actually like more car-like.
Kind of looks like a mini BMW or something. Similar to the Arcimoto, they both have rear storage space, so there's like a little trunk.
Both 3 wheels.
They're both 3 wheels with the 2 in the front, 1 in the back. But the sort of trunk space or whatever in the Solo is a bit more refined. This one is a bit more playful in the Arcimoto.
But the biggest issue is this one seats 2, the Solo seats 1.
Well, it's Solo.
So
yeah.
The Solo looked cool and more like you could drive it when it's raining and stuff like that, and it'd be cool. But like we like to go places together, and we're not going to buy 2 of them. This could be a very fun option for us. Like we could hop. Like we're about 8 miles from downtown Denver, not even.
This could be amazing. I wonder if you could take it on the trail, because if it's technically no electric,
no motorized vehicles on the trail, and they're actually. Even like your recumbent. She has a recumbent trike that has an electric assist, and there's been some talk about should those even be allowed.
Huh.
Yeah.
See if they can catch me.
Yeah. So in the National Park Service is looking at that as well, because like there's mountain bikes that have electric assist, and it's like, do you allow those? And then some of them can be just powered just on the battery alone. So it's a whole big thing. I think they should. And I think you just have to follow the same rules as a pedal bike. So on the trails around here, maximum speed limit is 15 miles an hour. Pedestrians have the right of way. As long as they're following the same rules, I don't see what the issue is. So
yeah.
But yeah, that.
And they're called, if we didn't say, FUVs, so fun utility vehicles.
Yeah, and I think that's it for the EV Summit.
There was a Nissan Leaf, but we couldn't drive it, so we didn't pay any attention to it.
Yeah, and not because we just. I think the Leaf is great, but we're trying to make videos, and we had very limited time, so we figured we'll talk to a Nissan rep here in Denver and do a test drive of a Leaf. Hopefully, have it for longer than an hour, and
I don't know if you guys saw when we went to the Denver Auto Show, but I sat in a Leaf there, and the console is just too huge, so I personally can't sit cross-legged, which really bummed me out because the Leaf is an affordable EV. There's really great leasing options, so that's unfortunate.
So and we're we have a bunch of videos out for the LA Auto Show. We still have a couple more that we're working on. We have this EV Summit where we'll get at least a few videos. I'm working on the GT and GT Performance Edition video right now. I thought I would get a lot of work done yesterday, but Diesel sort of interrupted that a little bit. But we'll see if I get some more editing done on that tonight, and then during the week we have to do our full-time jobs.
And Mr. Dam, is that it?
Oh yeah.
It says take it on what, the Arcimoto? Take the Arcimoto on Lookout Mountain?
Oh, that would actually be fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
Lookout Mountain it's not like the best road for like spirited fast driving. It would be, but there's always cyclists and tourists going up. But that is like it's iconic here in Colorado. We've taken the Mach-E up there in some of the previous videos.
And actually, when we rented the Tesla Model Y, we took it up there. It's an excellent place for photos, for sure.
But the Arcimoto, I think, would be a lot of fun because when there's cyclists and stuff, you can go around without having to wait until there's room because you would still have space. So that's a great idea. I like that. Yeah,
that would be fun.
It'd be fun to take it on some other mountain roads, like up to Evergreen.
Yeah, maybe we could get some Arcimotos here.
I wonder if they regen. Oh, they do regen braking. So yeah.
Ooh, that'd be. Oh my gosh, you'd get so much back.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Maybe we could organize an Arcimoto test drive here.
Okay, so we need to convince Arcimoto to. They sent one out for Out of Spec Studios up in Fort Collins.
Oh yeah, and he took it on quite a long road trip, didn't he?
He did one in Oregon, a road trip in Oregon, but they sent one in Fort Collins. That's the key. We work Monday through Friday, so it's very rare that we can go to LA, which is why we were excited that we did 2 LA trips.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm just going to say this because it's a live chat, but for the EV Summit, we flew out Friday afternoon after we did some work and some stuff. Flew out Friday afternoon, we got there, basically had, met some people for drinks from the EV Summit, went to sleep, got up, we filmed from like 9 in the morning till 5:30 or whatever. We went to dinner with everybody. Then after dinner, one of our favorite bands, Goldfish.
Super awesome.
We went to a concert up there. It's like a DJ duo, but I call it a concert because they played instruments. Yeah. But anyways, and we had tickets for it because we found out we were going to be in LA when they were going to be playing. And then we were messaging and like, hey, what time do you guys go on? And we're like, 12:30. And we're like, oh no.
But we did it.
But we did it. And that was super fun. We left, got back to the hotel about 3 o'clock in the morning, got up again. We started filming at 9 a.m., filmed until about 4.
Then we had our bags with us and we went back to the plane.
We literally didn't even go back to the hotel or anything. We had our bags with us at basically the parking lot where the summit was happening. And went straight to the airport and flew back. We ended up, plane was delayed. We got in at about midnight, got home at about 1. And then we were working Monday morning.
The whole week. Yeah. But totally worth it. What an amazing experience and a super cool opportunity. I hope that they do it again. I hope that it was good for Out of Spec Studios because it wasn't even a cost to us, so it's not even a question. Of course we want to go and try to do this and have all these amazing cars to play around with.
Yeah.
And thanks to Out of Spec and also thanks to the manufacturers bringing those vehicles
Kyle Connor is the one behind Out of Spec. Lexi was instrumental in organizing a lot of the details. Jordan. There's so many people from Out of Spec that were there, and it was really cool because not only did they organize this, got us all socializing, but little details, like they wanted to make sure everybody was being safe, so like they were sanitizing the cars in between. And it's not like they were getting paid for any of this, they weren't making any money. It was just, they wanted us to, make content and make sure that we were safe. And they were like, every time a car came in, here, let me wipe that down for you and get it ready for you. And they wanted to look good in photos too, so it was like, let's dust it off. So I thought it was just super cool attitude by the entire Out of Spec staff.
Yeah, kudos. Super kudos. And also they made the event open to other people to come check it out, which was a great opportunity. So Sunday, we actually had a couple Mach-E's join us.
Yeah. Laura and Michelle. I don't. It's on the intro.
Oh, right. It's on our thumbnail. So we got to meet Michelle and Rachel. Michelle has the Rapid Red, and then Rachel has a beautiful Star White. They brought out their Mach-E's, and there was actually even an Infinite Blue at one point that we didn't we didn't meet the person. I think they just came in and
I didn't even see it
breezed
there.
down.
So I saw it in somebody else's video clip, and yeah, it was cool. And the whole idea from Kyle was on Sunday just open it up and let people show up and check out a bunch of cool EVs. And there were a couple of Tesla owners at one point because it was hosted at a Tesla supercharger and a City of Pasadena CCS charger station. But we saw a couple of Tesla owners just sort of looking. So we walked over there and I started talking to them, and they were like, "What is this?" And the young man knew pretty much all the EVs, and the mom was like, "What is that one over there?" So it was cool, like explaining what was going on, and invited them to like come and check them out. There was a Porsche representative, Calvin Kim. He was willing to talk to anybody that wanted to check out the Porsche. We couldn't take it out on the road. It was a German spec vehicle that had been shipped over for the LA Auto Show. So he has a special certification so he could drive it, but that was it.
Very knowledgeable dude, and hung out the whole day and talked to everyone.
Yeah.
And all our questions. So it was really, really awesome.
Well,
And then Brawl Baby wants to know if we have a dash cam, which we do actually.
We do.
And Patrick's still
I got it back
evaluating the review, which I think is pretty much a thumbs up, to be honest.
Yeah, I got it back in April. It's been excellent. I meant to do a review, this summer, but just got distracted. It is a Viofo. I think that's how you spell it. Viofo A139, and it has a front cam, a rear cam, and an interior cam. The front cam is easy. That's no problem. The interior cam is pretty easy to put in as well. And I just ran the cables. I didn't necessarily hide them completely, so you can see them on the A-pillar. But it's very easy otherwise to hide them. The rear cam, it has a long cable that plugs in. The difficulty with that one is like, where do I put it on the rear window so that it gets a good rear view, and it's curved, and then you got to give it enough wire so that when you open the hatch. So that's my only little holdup with that. But the video quality is excellent. I think at our San Diego road trip and
Mount Evans, there was a goat on the road.
Oh, yeah.
And the way that the dash cam works is there are a couple different things with this little like exclamation point that you press if something happened. And I think it takes like 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after you pressed it. So it was a goat in the road, so we pressed it and it was really cute, and we got to use that footage.
Yeah, and I used some of the footage in the San Diego road trip. I had to like do some color matching to try to make it match the like GoPro or cell phone footage, but it actually looks really good. I think it's 4K, but not the 4K. It's like the 2160p, whatever. So it's slightly higher than HD quality. The interior camera is infrared, so it'll record in the dark, which I don't think anybody looks good with the infrared camera.
You suddenly realize you do weird things without realizing it when you look at interior cam. Like, I'm just sitting there.
And I forget the company name. It's like Black Box Camera or Black Dash Cam, something. I don't know. I can put a link below, or you can Google them. But they sell kits, and I think Viofo, you can get it with them. So that if you want it hardwired into the Mach-E so that it can stay on like a Century cam, you can do that. I don't have a ton of interest in doing that, but I may try it at some point. And that company name, I really need to remember their name.
We'll put the details.
They're used to doing EVs set up in like a Century mode, because EVs are slightly different as far as like you don't want to discharge the 12-volt battery, that type of thing. So I haven't really got into the details, and the reason is knowing people that have had their car vandalized or hit and runs and things like that. Even if you have the footage, unless very rarely is it going to be enough to get the cops to do anything. They'll just tell you go file a claim with your insurance, but even if you see the car and the license plate number, from what I understand is like, unless you can see the person's face so they can identify them, there's really not much they can do, because they have to prosecute a person. And then if you see somebody's face but you don't see their license plates, there's no way to really identify some random person doing something to your car. It might be good to prove to your insurance company, but if you want to have the dash cam for accidents or something like that, I think it's excellent, and it basically comes on when the car comes on, and as Liv said, if it just records continuously, and it'll overwrite itself. So if you have a 128 gig micro SD card, it can record quite a bit. But if you want it to like not erase a segment, you hit the emergency exclamation point, and it keeps like a 10-minute segment, so that it doesn't delete that. So we use that on our road trips. When something neat would pop up, like we got splashed with some water that like completely drenched the car. I was like, "Whoa!" Hit the button.
I have been thinking though, like a couple of Ubers that we've been in or Lyfts, they have sort of upgraded stuff now. So they have the plastic in between the driver and the passenger, and a lot of them I've seen have a dash cam recording interior. So that's another use case that I think would be really fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's Ubering with their Mach-E's, but I wouldn't be surprised. Well, it's a hard rear door to get into if you don't know what you're expecting. But I'd be pretty psyched to get on a Mach-E Lyft or Uber.
We don't have any road trips specifically planned. Couple of reasons. The biggest reason is we're in Denver, Colorado, which is a great place to live, but it's winter, and going through the mountains, it's hard to plan ahead and know if you're going to get a ton of snow. Really the same thing going east, but it's also like we have been saving up our time off so that we can go to South Africa. I'll get into that. That's the second reason. But it's hard to really go to a lot of unique, interesting places without taking time off of work, just having 2 days off. And we're trying to go to South Africa, like I mentioned. Liv's grandmother is turning 100 on December 31st.
Yep.
So we want to go celebrate with her, but I'm sure you guys have all seen in the news the Omicron variant is spiking specifically in South Africa. So we're nervous about going, but it's I don't know what we're going to do, and we may have to cancel or postpone and plan around that.
I mean, we'll still need to take the time off, but so to go back to road trips in a second, but Mr. Dan, yes, we love Meow Wolf passionately. We've been going since its inception. We actually have a video on it. We can link it down below if you go to our channel.
Which one are you? So we've been to the one in Santa Fe multiple times.
We've been to all of them.
We've been to Vegas once. We went 2 days.
Which is in our San Diego road trip video. It's from Denver to Vegas, I think.
No, it's the second part. Vegas.
Second part? Okay.
Yeah, Vegas. The Vegas to San Diego part, we talk about Meow Wolf. The one here in Denver, we've been 5 times already.
Oh, thanks, my friend.
And it's fantastic. Like, we love all the Meow Wolves. They're all great. In fact, a fellow Mach-E owner that lives in Ohio came out to visit for a conference and was like, "Hey, you want to grab dinner?" And we're like, "How about we grab dinner at Meow Wolf?" So we went to Meow Wolf together. If you guys come to Denver, we love going. It's just
we'd happily go again. We could have Mach-E people go to Meow Wolf. And I think, Mr. Dan, are you local? Are you in Colorado? He's mentioning Denver, so
only 5.
Only 5, I know. It's that awesome. What about you?
It's like $35 a pop, so we're trying to not just go all the time. If they had an annual pass, we would be super psyched, but just love it so much. And the one here in Denver is huge. We got tickets though to go.
Oh, we're going to a show. They have a music venue. It's really fantastic. I mean, if you come to Colorado, I feel like please go to Meow Wolf. It's amazing. If you go to Santa Fe or if you go to Vegas, also go to Meow Wolf. But they have a concert venue and we have tickets to that. When Brian was asking about road trips, I was like, oh, we could do Meow Wolf tour. So we could go to the Denver Meow Wolf, go to Las Vegas, and then go to Santa Fe. But then again, we've done that. So we could also...
We haven't done it in a Mach-E though.
We haven't done it all together in a Mach-E. We could also go to Moab or something.
Some ideas that we've tossed out before are a short trip to Moab. That's fairly easy to do in a weekend. But we could also take stuff in the back, like bikes. We wouldn't mind going to Eugene, Oregon. We could make that into a road trip, but that takes a lot of time off of work. I've also thought about it would be really cool. And this is me thinking. I have no connections with Ford. I don't know if we could do this, but I would love to do like a bunch of Mach-E's travel to Dearborn, Michigan, and go to the Henry Ford Museum, but I would love to get like a tour or at least a peek at the F-150 Lightning plant. I don't know if they even allow that type of thing, but I thought it'd be cool to have like Mach-E's converge on Dearborn.
Take
Um,
over.
and then Everyday EV, they're in Cleveland, and we joked about going to go visit them.
I mean, he says joke, but no. And they're down for a road trip. So, to be totally honest, that's probably the thing we've talked about most recently is collaborating for a road trip. They have an ID4. They might get something else in the future. It would be really interesting to do sort of a caravan road trip in multiple electric vehicles and see how they all handle it. Speaking of which, shout out to Misco Electric and the Kilowatts, who are both participated. They did sort of a competition.
Charge Across America.
Charge Across America, yeah.
A 10-day trip across America. It's airing on NBC Sports on December 23rd.
Yeah.
So if you look at NBC Sports Charge Across America, it should be coming up soon.
And they went in the Kilowatts Mach-E, and there were 2 Porsche Taycans, and
a Polestar 2.
And then an ID4.
And an ID4.
Yeah, so who do you think won? I don't know, but I'm going to tune in.
They wouldn't tell us.
Rude.
But that's okay.
But it would be fun to do something like that. So Brian, I think that would be really fun, like a group caravan, maybe in the summer.
He's in Thornton.
Yeah, Mr. Dan, you're in Thornton. If you guys don't know, we have a free website that Patrick put together called mach-e.org, and you can just go make a group for your local area. So we have Denver Mach-E group, Colorado Mach-E group. So you can find local people. So Mr. Dan, if you're not there, we might have talked already, but if you are, if you're not there, please come join us, and then you can come hang out with us when we do a meetup.
And we do want to do another meetup. Tim Jackson with the Colorado Auto Dealers Association, he has a Mach-E. He was asking when the next meetup is. He's busy. We're busy December, but we were talking about in January. It'd probably be late January, which of course gets tricky because nobody wants to meet up with a bunch of cars out in the cold. But I think we want to do another Denver meetup and get some GTs out there this time. The first one we had 7 Mach-E's, but they were all selects. Or I think it was a premiums and a California Route 1, if I'm not mistaken. But
so this time, we know that a bunch of GTs arrived in Colorado since then. You can wave at us so you could join us, Brian. That'd be super fun.
Yeah, and it may not be Dearborn. We also talked about, I think there's more Mach-E's and more EVs being sold in California, so maybe it's a caravan down the Pacific Coast Highway.
Ooh, yes.
So there, you know, I like being inclusive. So I think about these things like, oh, we could do one East Coast and one West Coast and one North and one South. And
we love meeting people. And this is such a great community. It's so awesome meeting other people who are into Mach-E's, who have Mach-E's, or just into electric vehicles in general. It's a unique thing, and it's totally different, and it's so fun getting to meet everyone. No, we're not getting a Lightning. I don't think we would. One, because I'm just going to say it, we live in a townhome complex, and we have a tiny garage that barely fits the Mach-E, to be totally honest. Pretty sure it wouldn't fit a Lightning. We don't really have the use case for Lightning. We don't need it. We don't really need to haul anything or have the utility, but I wish we did. We do have a friend that might get one.
Yeah, we have a couple of friends that are very interested. Well, one has put in a reservation for a F-150. I need to see if he's going to be in the first wave of orders. But anyways, he has a reservation in for one, and then there's a Tesla owner that he's in the Tesla Western Colorado Tesla Club. He has an order in for a Cybertruck, but I think he has a reservation in for the F-150 Lightning as well, because for him, he's looking at the cost and which one can meet his use case at the best price point. He's interested in the F-150 Lightning, and what I would love to do, if anybody from Ford is listening, is to get when you start doing press cards for the F-150 Lightning, I'd like to get one. There's a couple of specific Colorado tests I want to do, but I want to take it to those 2 people and let them preview it and get their real thoughts of they haven't bought it yet, but would this meet their needs, and just have some fun with it.
And I know we talked about going to the cabin, because we have a friend who has a very off-grid cabin. And what could we power with the F-150 out there? It's
a perfect sort of use case for the F-150 Lightning, because it's about 100 miles from here, and then the last 10 miles or so are down a dirt road, so it's pretty rough. And it's also off-grid. It has electricity, but it's solar powered, blah, blah, blah. So what I would like to do is drive the F-150 there, see how it handles the dirt road, and then power up for the weekend. And then not only that, but the 10-mile away town from the cabin has a DC fast charger. So I'm like that, like we could,
awesome.
yeah, we could
Perfect.
finish up and then go show like you're in rural Colorado and you can charge up the
Mr.
F-150
Dan
Lightning.
has a reservation, so maybe we're gonna borrow you.
Yeah,
You're
so
like,
yeah, that's
and
sort of.
Jose.
I would like to meet people that have reservations and see what
Yeah.
they think. I did get to ride in one. I have an F-150 Lightning video on the channel as well. They did a fleet event for F-150 fleet owners or current fleet people for that and the e-transit. So I rode in an e-transit and an F-150 Lightning.
I'm jealous.
Liv had to work. I got some time off to do some other stuff. And I'll just say, like, the truck felt just like an F-150, except it was quiet. And when the guy was a professional driver and he took off, acceleration is easy, but that was like mind-boggling. Excuse the dog. It was just mind-boggling how fast it was. And then we were coming and you could see, like, okay, here's the corner coming up, and you know how like you're driving with somebody and you never ridden with them before. Like I knew the guy has done the course probably like 50 times that day, but I was like holding on like, oh, turn, brake, and we just flew through the corners, and it just didn't make sense that we were in an F-150 and he was driving it like a Mustang. So
Hopefully we get to drive one ourselves soon. If not, Mr. Dan, Jose, we're getting in touch.
yeah. And do you guys have early reservations? Do you know, like, was it the same night? Because I know they're up to 200,000, and it'll probably be 2-3 years before they get through all of those. So I know some people they ordered immediately,
Yeah.
so they're hoping that they'll get it out, get one quickly. But and if you haven't seen, if you go to Mach-E forum, and I think there's like now an F-150 Lightning forum run by the same people. There's some information about how the ordering is going. One thing to note, and I don't know how much I like this part, but it looks like dealers are going to be able to prioritize some orders for loyal customers is the intent. I don't know, I won't get into the politics of that, but it could be worthwhile to reach out to your dealer to see if they, you know, what their criteria for prioritizing. And the idea is like, if you've been ordering F-150s or buying Fords for the past 20-30 years, they don't want you to have a reservation in and then have to wait 2.5-3 years, and then in the meantime you go buy a Rivian or Cybertruck or something like that. They want to keep their loyal customers, so they want to be able to prioritize those loyal customers. So it might be worth at least exploring to see.
How does that work though? Because Mr. Dan says he reserved first hour. So you'd certainly hope the people who were like, I'm sold, I want that they get it, you know, in that relation of time.
Yeah, they've closed reservations. They're opening up the order banks in January. They're going to do them in waves. So if you don't have a reservation now, you probably won't be able to order one even for over a year and a half, I'm thinking, which is great news and bad news. You know, I mean, it's great that there's so much demand, but it's sad that some people are going to decide they want to make the EV transition in a truck and not be able to do it.
Well, however, something else that happened at the EV Media Summit was we did get to see the R1T, the Rivian R1T, and
already selling.
You're selling it? Someone just got their Mach-E Select, and I think you're selling it for profit. I mean, they're holding value, right?
Yeah, we mentioned earlier in the stream at the EV outlet, it looked like they had a couple of, I think it was a Select and a Premium that they had just sold, and both of those went for over what the person had paid for it originally.
And we'll get back to the Rivian in a sec. I'm sorry, I can't see the name, but just awesome creating your own YouTube channels, but professionally and personally fulfilling. I would not say professionally necessarily, but personally, for me at least, it's been awesome. We really love sharing stuff. We really love our Mach-E. I think we're really into stuff. We love creating videos and creating content and creating community and being a part of a community. So that's been extremely fulfilling.
Little known story, I guess. back in the 90s, showing how old I am. Was it 90s? Yeah, it was like 92, 93. Boy, I'm really old. I had a Commodore Amiga with a video toaster system, which sounds like a weird name, and it was. But it was for making videos, and I got into doing wedding videos mostly. But I did like a promotional video for a mountain bike company. So I've always had the desire to make videos. I was in the military at the time. I then got sent to England, and they have a different video standard. So all of my equipment was worthless over there. So that shot that out. And I sort of had it always in the back of my mind that I like making videos. And now this has been fun. And before we did the Mach-E channel, we have a channel called Zoology. There's videos out there if you ever want to go.
We enjoyed making videos. We realized that we both liked that, and we both started making sort of travel adventure videos, and no one watched them, but we kept making them because it was really fun. So we've been having the best time making Mach-E videos, and the fact that you guys are here and seem to enjoy it with us is, I mean, amazing. Thank you so much for being here with us. It's super fun, and we really enjoy it.
Yeah, it was funny. I was telling somebody, they're like, did you have any experience? I was like, yeah, we made YouTube videos, and we would take a trip to Seattle, and we'd spend like 2 weeks editing, and then we'd put it out there, and we'd share it with friends and everything, and we'd check at the end of the day, and we had 9 views. So we still love those videos, and we occasionally will go back and look at them ourselves because they're like good like memory books for us.
Yeah.
But you know, we love making the videos and love being creative in that way. Out
of idea, I think you paid $5,000 over MSRP, and you're still going to sell it? What were you going to say?
The Rivian.
Oh, yeah.
At the EV Summit, they came in, they were there for like 30 minutes and then left. We could look inside, we could crawl through the tunnel.
I touched the stuff inside. We just couldn't sit in it.
They didn't want us to actually sit inside it, which I thought was a little bit odd. And we were hoping that they would do at least ride-alongs. They didn't do that. I know that they have done for other media. It's like somebody asked us, why didn't we get into VinFast?
Like, I actually tried.
VinFast. No, this
I got in trouble.
So first of all, it was like somebody was like, what was it, Miss Blonde something? What?
Supercar Blondie.
Supercar Blondie. They're like, she got to go sit in it. Why didn't you? And I'm like, well, she has like 4 million followers, so I think she got special privileges.
Yeah.
Sandy Munro tried to sit in it, and they wouldn't let him. But that was the only one I noticed. Noticed they actually had security. I think they had two different security guards standing near the platforms for the VinFast because they didn't want anybody to touch the vehicles.
Yeah, I touched the handle. And
yeah.
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 A little reprimanded.
Others like the Fisker Ocean, I asked the presenter there after, on the media day, I was like, hey, is there any way that we can open it up and look inside? She goes, I'm not even allowed to touch that. We have 2 prototypes. No.
I mean, and that is part of it. The Fisker Ocean, they had 2 prototypes. The VinFast, we believe they probably had 2 prototypes. So it's not like they have a bunch to throw around, I guess.
Ford, by the way, they had the F-150 Lightning there, and you could hop in it and check it out.
No, I'm actually not sure, though, because we could on media days, but I don't think they were doing it.
That's right.
Yeah, which is a bummer. It's certainly a bummer. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be nice if everyone could jump in it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Murchie. I hope you get your Mach-E back very soon.
I watched his road trip video, did a little gambling.
Yeah, I hope you get back to making some videos and stuff like that. And
yeah,
maybe we'll do a meet in the middle at Vegas and
go to Meow Wolf. Let's all meet at Meow Wolf.
That might be the idea.
That could be really fun. Would you guys meet at Meow Wolf in Vegas? We could do a mass meetup. We did actually do a meetup. We did a meetup outside Meow Wolf when we went to Vegas, but it was kind of spur of the moment, and we had one gentleman join us, which was really fun, though.
And there was somebody that missed us, and they were disappointed that they missed us. And then we went to LA, and we were trying to do a meetup there, or the Pasadena event. We invited people again. And she left that morning, so she missed that. Or the previous morning, something like that. So anyways, maybe we can do a meetup at Meow Wolf Vegas.
And someone mentioned something about 178 miles. Was that the Mach-E range in the winter? I'm not sure.
Oh yeah. So the range in the winter is taking a hit for a lot of people.
He actually has a video.
We're working on a video on that. So yesterday, our temperatures, we haven't driven a lot since the temperatures have gotten cold, and part of that is like it's just been warm in here in Denver. But we left and it was about 25 degrees. The high for the day was 45, so that's the worst day out that we've had with it cold. And we drove to Colorado Springs and back, so like 95% of our miles were at freeway speeds at 65 to 75 miles an hour, and certain people may have been able to go higher than that because they have these new express lanes and everybody was going fast. That's my reasoning.
You were keeping up with traffic.
Exactly. I was surprised. I got 3.0 miles per kilowatt hour, which translates to about 264 miles for a full charge on a Mach-E, all-wheel drive extended range. So that was I was pretty impressed, the fact that it was cold. Now, of course, the one thing I'll say this is what a couple of things saying in the video is like I made sure my tire pressure was good. That decreases in the winter, and some people are discovering their tire pressure is actually low, which hurts range. And I preconditioned the car before we took off, and it's parked in the garage.
Which is just what someone said. God, I wish I could see. Fro?
Yeah,
preheating your battery.
I'm old too. I can't see those far away, but yeah, preheating the cabin helps. The Mach-E doesn't necessarily precondition the battery like people are saying, and I haven't really tested it out. Again, we need some cold weather here in Colorado. Oh, we don't need it.
When would we ever say that normally? I know we normally shy from cold weather, but for the purpose of science, we'll do it.
Yeah,
I'm sure the cold
we need to
is
do some
coming.
testing. We had a Mach-E in February for 2 days that Ford dropped off for us to review, and I believe it was like low of 8, high of 18, and having the car preconditioned in the morning in the cabin warm when we got in there, we still got pretty darn good efficiency. I didn't necessarily note the efficiency. I think it was actually 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour, which would far exceed the stated EPA range. But we were doing city driving as well as we went into the mountains where you lose a lot of range, but coming out of the mountains you gain a lot back. So but it wasn't like this, oh my god, it's 2.0 miles per kilowatt hour because it's so cold. The fact that it was like a high of 18, the car, once you get it up to temperature, all of that insulation that helps with the sound deadening and all of that, it also keeps the cabin at what temperature you want, which goes back to our San Diego trip where it was 120 degrees and the car handled it fine. It's like you get the car to the right temperature and it'll stay there.
And obviously the heated seats and heated steering wheel in the driver's case is super helpful. But we also got into this interesting dialogue with someone in that one video about whether you take your jacket off when you get in your car in the winter. Because I personally don't. Like I'm preparing the air in my jacket to stay warm, and I'm making this warm sort of cocoon for myself. So when I get in the car, I keep my jacket on. Right? Remember we had a whole discussion about it. So what do you do?
Longer trips. We were talking about that like yesterday. We were going to Colorado Springs. That's like an hour trip, and it was warming up. So it was sort of like for something like that, I'll take my jacket off. But short trips, I don't.
Yeah, and Murchie has a great video idea. I think you should definitely do it. Electric vehicle charging etiquette.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, I mean, beyond just icing and things like that, that would be a really great video to do.
Yeah, we've run into some minor issues, like the one hotel that we stopped at, they had one charger, and there was a Tesla Model 3 that was charging when we checked in at like 6 o'clock, and then they were charging, and they charged till the morning when they left. Maybe they needed that whole time, but maybe they were full at 9 or 10 o'clock, and they could have been nice and given it up. But there's also other things like at Electrify America, we try never to use the stall that has the CHAdeMO adapter because that's the only one that a Leaf can use. So if you use that one and they pull up, they can't charge. So we try to not ever use that one.
Don't share the charger.
The same thing with the 350 kilowatts. We can use the 350 kilowatts and it'll peak actually slightly above 150 for the Mach-E, but really it's such a minor advantage for us. I leave that open because the Porsche Taycan can, it can actually use that 350 kilowatts.
And then the Ioniq 5 and
Ioniq
the
5.
EV6.
Yeah, they'll be
eventually
they'll be able to use those,
yeah.
so we'll stay off of the 350s if we can,
Yeah, but the etiquette video is a great idea, Murchie's idea, so we'll have to watch that one that comes out.
And I know Lori just got here, but I think we're going to start wrapping things up.
Heavier, lower range for the ID4.
Yeah. So we drove the rear-wheel drive ID4 a couple of times, and then we drove the all-wheel drive in Pasadena. The rear-wheel drive felt a bit sluggish to me, especially like 60 to 75 miles an hour like, passing someone. The all-wheel drive felt peppy. Peppier, I guess. Neither one feels bad, so that's just maybe me coming from a Mach-E hopping into it. But the rear-wheel drive ID4 with the bit better range, for most people, I think that's going to be a perfect car.
And cheaper.
Cheaper. Here in Colorado, most people go all-wheel drive if they have the option, just because we have in our mindset all-wheel drive is way better. I don't think it's a huge of a difference with EV, but it's something that we all sort of, if nothing else, it helps resale value tremendously here in Colorado.
Hi, David.
So.
Yeah, and I have to say I still love the ID4 interior. The only top to that would be the Mini. The Mini is adorable. It's adorable.
Yeah. The ID4, it's... Kyle Connor is a big fan, and he always I like what he says is it doesn't do anything great, although I would say there are a couple of things it does great, but it doesn't do anything bad. And his issue with the regular Mach-E is the charging curve that falls off at 80, which has been corrected, but we haven't had a chance to test it yet. Ours is getting the update in the next week or so, and then we'll have the better charging after 80. But ID4 charges great, has the free charging. I've recommended it to a couple of people that have said, I'd love to buy a Tesla. Mach-E looks cool, but I won't get an EV until I get a house because I live in an apartment. I'm like, hey, get an ID4 and you can charge for free at Electrify America. And you still need to be close to a station because nobody wants to drive 35 minutes to go for free charging.
And there are other auto manufacturers that do that. I believe the Polestar 2, you get 2 years. Who else does it?
I'm not sure.
We'll have to check.
I know. I mean, in the Mach-E gets 250 kilowatt hours free, which is not a ton.
Super worth mentioning, yeah.
That's for most people, that's four free big charges. Not a ton, but for us that can charge at home, I was just looking yesterday, and it wasn't just at Colorado Springs, but it was the last couple of days of driving and into Colorado Springs. My charging last night was $5, I think it was $4.59. I can't remember, $4.89, something like that.
Because we were
less
at
than $5,
right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So $5 to go to Colorado Springs and back is not bad.
Greetings from Germany.
So.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to wrap it up. My throat is, and at some point we need to take the dog out again.
Yeah.
He's still.
What do you guys think of Diesel? This really was, if you missed the beginning, this really was a weird situation where we went to rescue Diesel in the Mach-E, this being Diesel, and we are hoping to just be fostering him because we really shouldn't have another dog right now, but he's pretty adorable, right? I mean, he's just a little fluff.
Wake him up so he's not up all night.
So. This was super fun. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Dan, another local Mach-E person, and
let us know if you stuck around this long. Should we do these maybe once a month or something like that? I know some people do these every week. I don't think we can.
And we don't have to talk this long.
Yeah, we are a talkative couple.
I've been making you talk. I've just been snuggling. So.
So, anyways, thank you guys so much for joining. If you have any suggestions for future topics, future videos, or anything like that, just let us know. You can drop them in the comments. You can email us, Patrick or Liv at Mach-E, mach-e.org or machevlog.com. We have both of those domains.
And Lori wants to know why the name. That was actually his name. This is his name.
Yeah. So that's his name. We were
Thanks, Brian.
like, can you rescue this dog? Like, okay, yes. And then it was like, he's going to be at the Humane Society. Okay, cool. What's his name? Diesel. And we're like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, and really was like, please help us. Please rescue this puppy. How do you say no to this? How do you say no? I don't know.
But we're going to make sure he's in a loving home, whether it's with us or my cousin. That's what she does, is make sure they get adopted to perfect homes that are prepared for little princess dogs.
Oh my gosh, pretty adorable though.
Even
Do you
though
think
he's a
he'd look good in the Mach-E? Eh? I think so. In the front though, I'm sorry.
You got to finish with your tagline.
Oh right. No, you gotta get me in there. What are we saying? What else?
Well, that's about it for us. So.
So just remember that whatever you drive, even if it doesn't have this little fluffy in it, enjoy the